This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information.
Hello and welcome to a Wednesday edition of C2C Rankem. I'm the host, Big B, alongside my co-host, halfway around the world, the Primus, Tim Hendricks. How you doing, buddy?
Not bad. Had some sad news. As you can see by my little white box there, that my uncle had passed away on Saturday. Little tough. It was my mom's oldest brother. She kind of hits the family a little hard. Kind of expected after everything that he went through, that he had gone through, but yeah, he was. He's going to be sadly missed, but and it's kind of strange. It was kind of weird, kind of coincidental that you had chose our categories, and he himself was in a country band. He went to Nashville and he did all these types of things. So we have a very musical family. So this just seemed like it was kind of weird, but kind of in a way, it's kind of a little cathartic and a little bit. It's definitely going to be a relaxing episode.
Yeah. So again, sorry to hear for your guys' loss. Hope your mom's doing okay. Hope the whole family's doing okay. Yeah. So again, I was at work when I thought of this category because I forgot what song was playing, but we got to talking about people that could shred on the guitar, and it's just like, okay, that's like a good topic. So I, reached out to you. You came up with the other ones, which kind of all fit in. I threw in the last topic of songs you cannot help sing along. I can't wait to hear that one. So, all right, so let's start with the top bass players, bassists. I don't know. So
I got this from, and the funny thing is, top bassist. It was because, and the funny thing is, it was Saturday when my brother called me. Like I said, basically, it was making sure that I was okay after I heard, and then I told him about the categories, and he says, "Well, who are you putting on for your bassist?" So that's how best bassist got thrown onto this list, is because of somebody who watches the show. Granted, it's a family member, but sometimes it does happen where we get you on our show, and this is proof of it.
All right. So just breaking in here. Actually, Tim, you broke it in, but I just finally got the notification. I know we're doing ranks here, but week 1, Friday night game in Brazil is going to be the green and gold of the Green Bay Packers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. September 6th, that game will kick off this season. So you think we're still having a Thursday night game then to open the season, or will that be the opening?
I think we'll still have a Thursday night game. And it's funny because you know how Green Bay loves to give away their home games, and guess what? Green Bay's the home game, and this one is the home team in that game. So
yep. Yeah,
they're not fans of giving those games away. You saw what they like when they gave away 4 games to Minnesota to Milwaukee, to the Milwaukee County Stadium when they were still playing there, and they weren't thrilled about it. So
yep, exactly. So all right, back on topic here. So top bases. So yeah, I was looking at the list I came across. I could see us getting 2, maybe 3.
Yeah, I've got a couple on here that my brother. I forgot. The funny thing is, I forgot that one of these guys was a was a bassist, and it's kind of strange. But I could see, wow, two's possible.
Two's probably more realistic for us.
Yeah.
All right. So with that being said, go ahead, kick us off.
Well, and this is the funny thing is my number 5. This one might be one of the ones that are on your list, which is really hilarious when you think about it. And for some reason, and it's just funny that this past weekend there was WrestleMania, and The Rock was pretty much primarily heavy throughout WrestleMania, and he has this way of impersonating Triple H.
Oh.
And it's always strange to hear. Well, if you know Triple H and you know his walkout music, it's done by a certain band. And I had forgot completely that he was the bassist of this band. But it's hilarious that I think he may be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure. But you get the walkout song for Triple H, I'm the Game, and then you've got the Ace of Spades. But he's most of the time he's known as the lead singer of Motorhead. But he is also the bass player for Motorhead. My number 5 is Lemmy from Motorhead.
Lenny, okay. My number 5, guys, I'm gonna be honest. I mean, a lot of these guys I haven't heard of because I'm not this type of genre of music, so I'm not gonna go into too much detail. I mean, I know some of them, but my number 5, I couldn't tell you what the bass is, but the website I had them on had them at number 1 and reliable website, so I gotta go with it. James Jamerson.
Okay, where's that from? God, I got to try to remember where James Jamerson is.
So
I don't remember James Jamerson. Holy smokes!
It's an older guy.
Yeah.
So let's see.
My brother, if Ryan's watching,
they say
Ryan's watching. He's going. James Jamerson's from this band.
Yeah. No, I guess it just. It doesn't really give them a band. Just says Motown, so must have just bounced around.
Holy smokes. Yeah. That could be anything. Holy hell.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, you're number 4.
All right, my number 4. I'm going to give the credit to my brother for this one because we were talking and he says you have to have this guy because this band basically a lot of their music is bass driven. So it's a lot of things, and you hear the name of the band, and you think, okay, I've heard their stuff, but you mostly don't know the names. But the funny thing is, he's got the name of he's got a name that sounds like of a player in the NFL, which is really funny because I think it's Chase Claypool. I don't think he's in the NFL no more. I think he's up in CFL. But not dealing with football. There's a band called Primus, and if you listen to Primus, it's a lot of bass-driven rock and roll, hard stuff. My number 4 is Les Claypool.
Okay.
Every time I see Les Claypool, I think of Chase Claypool, and every time I see Chase Claypool, I think of Les Claypool.
Yeah. All right. So we're early here, but as we go, I'm trying to find our little spot here.
Which one?
Yeah,
it's gotta be Lemmy.
You took him at number 4, or at number 5. I'm sorry, and that was Lemmy of Motorhead.
Holy smokes! I kind of figured that was going to be on your list because if you knew Motorhead and you knew Triple H,
I forgot all about that until you said that. Yeah. So, all right, you're number 3.
My number 3. Again, I kind of bowed to my brother on this one, and him being an Ozzy Osbourne fan and a Black Sabbath fan, and I believe that he's born on somebody's birthday in our group, in our your group, my group, I think one of our family members groups. I'm thinking it might be my brother actually, which is hilarious because my brother was, like I said, my brother's a big Black Sabbath fan. I know we're all looking at right now going, whose birthday is he on? And I haven't even brought him up yet. My brother thought right away this guy, and he says, you need to have him on your list. I kind of, like I said, I bow to my brother when it comes to that. No, it's my birthday. He's born on my birthday. And my brother, I think if I remember right, he told me that I'm kind of pissed that you didn't put him on your list for your birthday. I'm like, dude, that show for that show was almost a year and a half ago. So if you remember that, you're better than I am. My number 3 is Geezer Butler from Black Sabbath.
Yeah. All right. My number 3, again, I went to a specific website or research, had this guy on there, and to me, I never thought of him as a bass player. I always see him singing all the time, and maybe just because I see more recent videos of him singing, so I don't see him playing so much when he was. But I got Paul McCartney at number 3.
I forgot that he was a bass player. But then again, if you notice, there isn't. I'm going to tell you right now, there isn't any. I don't have any Beatles on my list, which is strange because 3 out of the 4 should be on a list, and I don't have any.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah.
You're number 2.
I'll be honest, I'm not a Beatles fan.
Yeah.
But that's okay. My number 2. My wife is going to love this because she's a Metallica fan. And I truthfully thought that he was. I didn't think he was a bassist either, much like you did. But this is a guy who got deep and heavy into drugs, and he got into the whole rock and roll lifestyle a little too hardcore. And Metallica kicked him out of the band, and then he passed away in the mid to late 80s. But I still think, and a lot of people will agree with me to the end of days about this, and I'm going to not go out on a limb here and say my number 2 is Cliff Burton.
Okay. My number 2, I put him on there one of 2 reasons. One, because of the name, and 2, because I remember watching a certain movie that portrayed a group, and they brought him up in the name in their I forgot what the tagline was, but my number 2 is Bootsy Collins.
Holy smokes, that was old school. No. It was.
I can't think of it now, but
it is old school. It is old school because Bootsy Collins shows up at a house party. And with Will Ferrell, and it's got Will Ferrell and Luke Wilson and Vince Vaughn.
Yep. All right, you're number 1.
My number 1. We've only gotten one. This is kind of a little sad. To me, I think to me, and I'm going to get a lot of heat for this one, and I don't care. To me, I think one of the greatest Canadian band of all time. Again, one of these, much like Lemmy, you didn't think you forgot that he was all you ever see is Lemmy being the front man, and you didn't know he was a bass player. Well, me, and this is a funny thing, you brought up a movie too, and this band shows up in another movie, and it's funny because it's got Paul Rudd and I can't remember, and Jason Segel, where the guy's looking for his best friend to be his best man at a wedding. I can't remember the name of the movie to save my life. And there's this running joke that Paul Rudd always talks about, slapping the bass, and it's hilarious. If I can get to remember the name by the time the show ends, I'll tell you. But they go to a Rush concert, and the first person you see is my number 1, and he is the voice of Rush, but he's also the lead singer of Rush. He's also the bass player of Rush. My number 1 is Geddy Lee.
Okay. My number one. Um,
I didn't snipe. Holy
no.
damn it.
Yeah, no. My number one is a group from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Flea.
You went Flea. You went
Yeah.
Flea.
Yeah, so we got one. You know,
Who
we
did you
didn't say
think?
no.
Who did you think I was? Who did I miss that you thought I was going to snipe you on?
Uh, I didn't have anybody really. I mean, I thought maybe you might have Flea out there, or maybe you would have thrown Paul McCarthy out there, thinking wouldn't have put him on there, you know.
Right.
But so all right, so let's go into the best drummers of all time, in our opinion.
Oh, this is going to hurt.
I know. For some reason, I know I'm missing somebody, but I just can't think of his name. And once I hear it, I know I'll be like, "Oh yeah, that's right." So I'm gonna go one on this one.
I'm going. I have this feeling I think you're going to go one. I have this feeling we can hit two. I have this feeling.
Yeah.
I absolutely have this feeling,
Yeah.
and it might be the one that and I'll probably have by curveball. I don't have a curveball because these really aren't curveballs, but yeah. Oh gosh, I might run into that second one by accident.
All right. So for me, I'm gonna go with number 5, which I honestly didn't see on too many lists, but a guy that doesn't follow this type of music but know of him. Number 5, I gotta put Tommy Lee.
Jeez, really? You win it? My favorite band, and this is the sad thing, is my favorite band. I don't have Motley Crue in there somewhere, anywhere.
Yeah. All right. Your number 5.
My number 5. My number 5. I know this band. I know this band. I know the 2 bands he was in. Matter of fact, he's had his fingers on so many different bands. It's weird. That sounds like it could be a "That's What She Said" type of thing from The Office, but most people, if they were born after a certain time, only know him for one band. You and I would know him being started with a different band. Most people who are under the age of 20 would know him from the Foo Fighters and as the lead guitarist from the Foo Fighters, but you and I would know him more along the lines of being the drummer from the band Nirvana. Technically, he was also the studio drummer for the Tenacious D too, as well. He played the devil in the Tenacious D's The Pick of Destiny. Absolutely brilliant, unbelievable. Matter of fact, a friend of one of the people on your above list, Paul McCartney. And Paul McCartney has taught his daughter Paul McCartney has taught my number 5 how to play piano. So my number 5 is Dave Grohl.
Okay. All right. My number 4, gotta put a female on there. Just the fact that most of the drummers we're going to talk about are going to be guys.
Oh my God, you went.
And this one collaborated with Prince a couple times on things, as I'm just reading here. She was in the 70s when she began her career, and that's Sheila E., as she goes by her stage name.
Yeah, you went that way. I wasn't going to go that way. Damn it.
Now, when you say you didn't have a curveball, I'm like, oh, okay. I got my curveball through then. All right.
No, I'm not sure.
The curveball is something the Twins can't hit this year so far. So.
Oh, okay, cool. Good thing we got our series out of the way with the against you early.
Yeah, you're number 4.
So my number 4. Another guy who was known as a drummer, and my brother asked me, why are you putting him in as your drummer? And I'm like, well, most people remember this guy. He says, "What are you going to put him on as the best drummer because of the one song he did?" I said, "No. You have to remember, he was the drummer for this band while Peter Gabriel was the lead singer. So he was there the entire time." Ryan's like, I completely forgot about that. But everybody remembers my number 4 as the guy who does the drum solo for In the Air Tonight for Genesis. Matter of fact, I had a couple of family friends that have seen one of his last concerts in Berlin, if I'm not mistaken. Matter of fact, has just announced that he is retiring from touring. But absolutely brilliant. Played. Matter of fact, played the constable in Hook. You're gonna go watch Hook now.
I know what you're thinking of. Yep.
My number 4 is the lead singer and former drummer of the band Genesis. My number 4 is Phil Collins.
Wow.
Curveball. Curveball.
My number 3 is a guy who I've seen many clips of him battling Will Ferrell on Saturday Night Live or just wherever, because Will Ferrell thinks he can do everything. My second member of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Chad Smith.
They look identical.
They do. They do. That's the funny part. They both look identical when Will Ferrell dresses up to do drumming. Yeah.
Did you ever see the Super Bowl? There was a Super Bowl that they did in Los Angeles, and they showed a picture of Chad Smith, and they underneath it they had a caption of Will Ferrell, and he about lost his loving mind.
Oh no, I didn't see that. All right. You're number 3.
My number 3, a guy that my next 2 are guys we lost way too soon. But you've heard the music before, so you know exactly who I'm talking about when I say the band. To me, I absolutely love it. Little Roger Daltrey singing over top of drums of my number 3. Every time you watch a CSI episode, they always open up with The Who, with my number 3 playing drums, and absolutely he destroys drums. He used to go on live performances and just absolutely destroy drums. Problem is he had a problem with substance abuse. I seem to find people who are destined to be stuck with substance abuse, like Cliff Burton. But my number 3 is Keith Moon.
Okay. All right. My number 2 for the second time tonight gets sniped at number 4 with Phil Collins.
No. I thought it was my curveball. Oh, no.
No. All right. You're number 2.
My number 2, again, guy we lost way too soon. Like I said, with number 3, his kid is now playing drums, and I think he's on tour with this band. I know Jimmy Page and Robert Plant have both said that he's been with them. A guy who's basically part of the greatest band to have ever been assembled. My number 2 is from Led Zeppelin, one John Bonham.
Yeah.
Did I accidentally jump into number 2? Did I accidentally?
No, you got him. Yeah. So my number 1, I'm going to go with one of our taglines. You know, doing some research here, it seems like he was the first to be credited with being a great drummer. So someone has to be the first in our line. So why not put him number 1? And that's Buddy Rich.
Yeah, I forgot about Buddy. So, I didn't forget about Buddy Rich. I'm shocked you went Buddy Rich, but you know.
Yeah, you're number 1.
My number 1, the guy who I consider, and many people consider to be the guy behind Buddy Rich, and I absolutely love watching this. Lost him lost him a little much too. Yeah, the band, the movie name is I Love You Man, and the funny thing is, and when he puts up I Love You Man, and we're talking about a band called Rush, well, he kind of semi sniped me, because I think probably the greatest drummer outside of Buddy Rich is the drummer from Rush, one Neil Peart.
Okay.
I Love You Man's hilarious. It's got Lou Ferrigno in it beating up an old man.
Oh yeah. I think I have seen that one. So, all right. So, well, I was just looking up Daniel there because he's got a background. I was trying to see. I must know him through some wrestling chats or something. So, because his photo is a wrestling event that's coming or has come with Shelton Benjamin in it. So here in Minnesota. So
cool.
All right.
Who's from South Carolina? If you watched last week.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. If you watched last week. All right. So let's move on. We're playing just like the Twins here, 1 out of 10. With runners in scoring position. I think they're 0 for 27 or something. I don't know. Anyways, so let's move into the best bands. This one, kind of interested to see which route you went. I mean, this one, honestly, if you go by name, we could go 5 for 5. Well, we won't go 5 for 5 because I know one of mine is not on your list. So, but
now that I realize through what I said and what it's not on your list. We're not going 5 for 5 at this point.
Well, 4 could be a possibility, but I'll go 3.
I'll go. 3. Yeah, 3. Yeah, because I don't really. I have a curveball on here at this point because I've had it come up twice. But I have a feeling I know one of yours just by where you've put other band members up. So I'm thinking Anthony Kiedis is going to show up on your best singers at this point.
Oh, now I'm looking. No. No. The thing is I know where you're going. I only liked one Red Chili Pepper song. So
Under the Bridge, Californication.
Exactly. So all right. So go with your number 5.
My number 5. I honestly think I would get divorced if I didn't put this on my number 5. Because my wife absolutely loves this band. I have a running joke with her. And the funny thing is, I'm still trying to get my wife. This band is going to be in Milano in May.
And she doesn't want to go?
And we're not going. Not happy. But we went and saw the D last year, and and I didn't even put the D on this list. That's even worse. Golly. Because I should have really put. Oh gosh, this is so terrible. I have this running little joke that that every song that they play, I said, oh, this is your favorite minstrels. I call them our minstrels.
Okay.
But when Elton John says that what is it? He made a comment to James Hetfield and said that. He said one was a masterpiece. You kind of have to listen to them, and the longevity they've had since the 80s to now, they're still touring and they're doing a world tour. So my number 5 is Metallica.
Okay.
Go ahead, say Motley Crue, get it over with.
No, I don't got them on there.
Oh yeah.
So
better. I don't feel
number 5 for me is a band that we lost way too soon with the lead singer, but for some reason, this generation still will wear their stuff, will still play their music once in a while, cover their music. So I would have loved to see where this band could have gone, and I probably would have even followed them a little bit more and maybe got into that type of music, but Nirvana.
Yeah, Nirvana. We're not going. Definitely not going. Definitely not going 5 for 5.
No. You're number 4.
My number 4, and I've already kind of alluded to this band a couple times already. Like I've said, probably the greatest Canadian rock band in history. Most people are going to say, "Well, the Guess Who?" No, not the Guess Who. I absolutely love this song. This group to me is, they've got albums where you can just sing and you know the words. It's amazing. And then "I Love You, Man" basically proves it. My number 4 is Rush.
All right. All right. So now getting into, I'm just looking quick here, but my number 4, again, I know him because, I used to DJ a little bit if some of you guys didn't know, but, so I got a little love for him, but still not my type of music. Led Zeppelin.
He's got a little love for them. A little. Not a lot. Not a lot.
Yeah.
Because we grew up in the 90s where it was all dance music and stuff. But then he had that little bit of brief headbanger stuff there between Metallica. Hey, you wait, you sniped me?
What? With Led Zeppelin?
Oh, you said Zeppelin. Oh, wait, even okay, never mind. Not a word. Nothing came out of my mouth at this point. I'm like, wait, you sniped me. And I'm like, no, I didn't. That's a little precursor. So technically, yes, you did. You just didn't. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So yes, precursor. So anybody's paying attention knows the score already.
All right. So go ahead with your number 3.
My number 3, another one I've kind of alluded to. To me, I think to go from Peter Gabriel to Phil Collins, to have everything so memorable that they've done. To me, and to seamlessly go from a lead singer like Peter Gabriel into Phil Collins, to me shows what type of talent that band had, starting in the 80s, going to just recently. My number 3 is Genesis.
Yeah, that's cool. I like Genesis. I guess I just didn't put them up. I don't know. I do like Genesis. So, all right, my number 3. If you got a website named after you, a national magazine named after you, maybe they're not named after what the band, has the same name, but you gotta put them on the list. Number 3, Rolling Stones. You're number 2.
That's the one I should have had on. Oh no, I know exactly who you didn't put on the list, because I didn't put him on the list because I made a comment earlier about something else. Well, we have a saying here on Rankem. It's our tagline. It's our LA night. Yeah. It's not C2C unless we're sniping. Your number 4 is my number 2, Led Zeppelin.
All right, gotcha. Number 2. All right. My number 2. I know a few of their songs because I hung out with, in high school and stuff with people that listen to their music. So, my number 2 is Guns N' Roses. All right, you're number 1.
Yep, my number 1. I am going to go with a band, to me, that had probably the most perfect lead singer voice in history. Now I have to double check if I actually made him my number 1 in my lead singers. If not, I've just basically just shot myself in the face.
Mr. Barber there.
But my number 1, matter of fact, I think one of my Keith Richards has done a lot of drugs. I think he's actually done a lot of formaldehyde so he doesn't age.
Yeah, exactly.
My number 1, matter of fact, one of their songs is on another list that we have in this episode. My number 1 is Queen.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I know.
All right, my number 1 is a band that you don't like. Just found that out.
Don't lie.
But again, you get the. I don't want to use the GOAT, but somebody had to be the first band to be loved, I guess. And I know back in the day they were the heartthrobs, as we call them nowadays. But number one, the Beatles. So, and Jason, good morning. I know I said it, but Jason, you can catch J-Mac, the voice of the Oregon Cougars football when the season kicks off. And I also believe he will be doing May 4th, the backyard games up there in where he lives at in Portland.
All right, we got. I guess since we kind of have we what are these? Okay, I'm going to ask this question because I'm kind of Facebook illiterate. What are these stars things that we have to kind of promote?
So these stars are a little, like a gift from the fans to us. It helps us, pay the bills a little bit, I believe. So if you guys are watching, you drop a little star down there. Helps us get notarized and stuff like that. So, yeah. So, all right. So let's move on. We are really not hitting Hall of Fame numbers today.
We're batting like the Oakland A's.
Yep. Which I always joke about the Oakland A's, but they had a good attendance their first series. So
who did they play? Who did they play? Who did they play?
I can't remember. All right, so let's go to lead singers. This one should be an interesting one. So I had to do a couple different searches because they kept up bringing certain lead singers that I'm like, well, that's a solo artist, so of course he's going to be the best lead singer. So, I typed in lead singers and finally got the right list I was looking for.
See, you understood the assignment. I'm thinking, okay, I'm only going to do lead singers that were in bands.
Yep. And if I do got one in here, that's a lead singer, not of a band. Yeah, Marlins are the worst. Yeah, Marlins are getting up there, so maybe they'll move to Oakland. All right, I'm gonna go on a limb. Well, I know you don't have. I'm gonna go 2. We gotta break this 1-for-5 streak here.
I have to. Okay, we're good. Okay, we're good. I know. I had to double check because my number 2. I had to double check. I know he was part of a band, but nobody ever remembers him being part of a band. But then I realized I had to double check, and I'm good. I'm good.
All right, so I will go. I'm going with 2.
2.
Yeah.
2. I say 3.
Okay. All right, so I will start off with a group I like a lot of songs. He tried to do and I believe he actually did bring out a solo album in country in the last few years, which doesn't make sense to me. He can't pull it off. Actually, that Beyonce song is actually pretty good.
I got to take a look. I haven't listened to it.
It's one of my wife's new favorite songs. Texas Hold'em is a good song.
We have to have a long conversation with your wife.
So outside of that, number 5, the lead singer of Aerosmith, Steven Tyler.
He tried country.
He tried country, yes.
I'm starting to be even more proud that I left the country. I moved we don't get that stuff here.
All right, your number 5.
My number 5. A good Irish band. I don't think we've said that at all today. Lead singer from an Irish band. I've lucky enough to see some of the pieces that were inducted into the Hall of Fame from this band. I've seen some of the stuff that he's had. If anybody's ever bought an iPhone lately, in the last 15 years, they seem to have found a way to put their album on an Apple product, which is really, really, really kind of confusing. Honestly,
I totally agree with you, but yeah, he's got a country song out there.
I honestly, I want to see Willie Nelson rap with Snoop Dogg at this point. My number 5 is from U2. My number 5 is Bono.
All right. So
Wait, I think Willie Nelson did a rap song. Hold on, I think Willie Nelson did a rap song.
maybe, who knows? He's on cloud nine most of the time, so he probably did a Christian song.
Cloud 9 is when he wakes up. He's on cloud 45 by noon.
Yeah. So, anyways, my number 5, I gotta go. Again, gotta give a little love to the ladies out there in a area where we're talking mainly guys here, and got to get a lady in the mix here. Which is funny because her name just rhymes with mix a little bit, and that's Stevie Nicks.
Oh, this is gonna break you. This is gonna break Jason Barber's heart.
Uh-oh.
There is a song that Willie Nelson did with Snoop Dogg called "Roll Me Up and Smoke Me When I Die."
Oh yeah, I do remember that one now. All right, you're number 4.
My number 4, a guy we lost I think this one we legitimately lost way too soon. Anything from when your DJing days, when you listen to a band called Soundgarden, and he went through a solo tour, and then he ended up getting into a group called Audio Slave. To me, actually, one of these more pure voices. Him and my number 1, I think, have probably the most pure voices in solo artists, band artists, rock artists, country artists. Two of the probably the best to have ever done it. My lead singer is Chris Cornell.
Okay. Well, when you said we lost a singer too soon, I thought for sure you nailed my number 3, but you didn't. But we did lose him too soon, and I brought it up earlier, last category we did, that if I wish I could have seen this group grow, because I think that they would have been musical royalty, just the way they, came out of the scenes, and then, we lost them. But, yeah, number 3, Kurt Cobain. You're number 2.
My number 3. My number 3. Yeah. Every time I see my number 3, I think of Val Kilmer. I don't know why. Oh, I know why. Because he played him in a movie. Actually, one of those smoother voices. I think a guy we definitely lost way too soon. I actually have my wife and stepdaughter were nice enough to get me a picture of his grave in Paris, France, at the cemetery. So I have the headstone of my number 3. And the Doors get absolutely no love. I don't know why. My number 3 is not the pitcher from the former pitcher of the Florida Marlins, but who was named Jim Morris. My number 3 is Jim Morrison.
Yeah. All right. My number 2, for the 3rd time tonight, you got me. You put him at number 5, I believe. And that's Bono.
Yeah, number 5.
Yeah. So, all right, you're number 2.
All right. This is the guy that I had to make sure that was actually part of a group at one point. So I feel so much better. I am going to. This is the only guy on my list who shows up twice. He hasn't been on my list, any of my lists yet, but he shows up twice. Okay. And when I had to look it up, I realized that he is the reason we have the revolution. We also have the family. If we don't have my number 2, we don't have Morris Day in the time. And I remember that I had to think about this. And if my dad was sitting right over my shoulder, he would have told me, "You're an idiot. You should know that he was part of a group." My number 2 is the Prince of Paisley Park. One Prince.
You did put him on there. God dang it! I didn't even put him on there. Oh man! When you said your dad, if you're looking over, your dad would. Oh man, I can't believe Yes, I knew he did it, but I'm just like, no more as just a regular, just lead singer. Oh, I had him too, and I'm just like, no, I'll take him off. I'll take
Yep,
him off.
Prince and the Revolution. My wife
Yep.
even
No, I
confirmed it.
know who you're talking about because
My wife confirmed it 2 days ago for me too. Yeah,
because
he was in Revolution. I'm like,
they do the Purple Rain movie, and he's the lead singer of that group in there.
right.
So yeah.
And the funny thing is, that
Oh,
was Morris Day was in that group, was part of the
yep,
Revolution, and then they
yep,
broke off and became
yep. Worst day of the time. Yep.
Morris Day. I can't say what they say in Jay and Silent Bob movies because you see how fast we get knocked off the network.
Yeah, exactly. Almost as fast as we do when we would do
We had with
watch-alongs with WrestleMania. So, all
did you get
right, my
knocked
number
off? Wait,
one.
did you guys get knocked off this weekend?
Yeah, a couple times we got blocked. We just went back down there. Yeah. So, all right, my number one. Again, the lead singer that.
This is your number
all,
or number two. This should be
no,
your
I
number.
started.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My number one. We all growing up, especially our parents will recall, especially if they're watching football, will recall the announcement when he
Oh wow!
died.
Oh wow!
So number one for me, John Lennon.
Wow, you went that way. I didn't. Well, then again, yeah, I could have went that way. I don't mind John Lennon.
All right, you're number one.
I'll tell you something. I've been watching this series. It's on Apple. It's on Apple Plus, and it's called For All Mankind. And it's an alternative. It's an alternative history thing. If the Soviets had gotten to the moon before we did, and the funny thing is, if the Soviets had gotten to the moon before we did, John Lennon's still alive in 1995.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
It's really weird. Much like my number one, much like I said about my number four, where the most pure voices in any type of genre. He guy's been known for solo work. He's been known for rock work, everything. Actually, he's been known to do opera, and he's actually wrote a lot of stuff, which we could have done best songwriters, but we could have been here for 8.5 years on songwriters. But to me, I think absolutely should be number one in anybody's list except for John Lennon. My number one is Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, I should have had him on the list too. I thought about it too, and I don't know why. The documentary movie I saw with them guys there was pretty good. I like that. All right, so let's move over to. So we're still holding strong. Four topics.
Four for 20.
420. Yes.
4 for 16. 4 for 20.
4 for 20. I know we're not promoting any.
We're not. Yeah, it's only that's in 10 days. We're not promoting 10 days from
now. Yeah. So let's move over to guitarist. This is where kind of kicked off the thinking of this topic. So this is going to be interesting. This could be anywhere from we hit.
We could hit 2.
I was about to ask how neither of you have Freddie. Yeah,
Freddie was the first person I put on my list.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just having one of those moments. I knew I was thinking I was missing something. Just like, still can't remember the drummer I'm missing that we didn't hit. I didn't hear his name. So, all right.
You said Tommy Lee. You didn't do. Were you thinking Lars?
Yes, there you go. Yeah,
Lars. Yeah. Okay.
So all right. So let's go to guitarist. I mean, this could be anywhere from we strike out to 5.
We're not going to strike out.
I don't think we're going to strike out.
I hope to God we don't strike.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're not going to strike out. No. I'm going to say 3, and I do have a double up on this one.
Oh, you do have a double up.
Yep.
I got to make sure I double check if he was. I think he was part of a band. My number one. Oh, please God. Oh yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
I guess I didn't even look to see if they were all band members. I guess I just
I keep forgetting that he was part of
yeah.
Curtis Knight and the Squires, but yeah, okay, yeah,
All right.
and the experience.
So,
Okay, we're good. We're good.
all
Holy,
right. So go ahead, kick off with your number 5.
my number 5. If anybody was looking at my list right now, they're going, I know exactly everybody on that list, so that's pretty good. Uh, I can't remember if no, because the culture personalities by Living Color. My number 5, I love this band, and you'll be wondering why I didn't put more people on this band, because I don't really like the artists as separate artists, but except for this one. My brother told me if I didn't put him on, I would be murdered. But I need to put on the guitarist from Rage Against the Machine, one Tommy Morello.
Okay. Number 5, I'm going to put on there, and no, it's not Jimmy Lang, the blues singer from Minnesota. No, I don't like him.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, so just in case everyone's like, well, why did you put Jimmy Lang? Jimmy Lang does play a pretty mean guitar, but no. My number 5 is another guy who came on the scenes mid 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, and pretty much played for everybody. It seemed like got all the awards and stuff like that, but he could play a mean guitar.
Oh God, please don't say it. Please don't say it.
And
Please
I'm
don't
going to
say
go
it.
with one, not the pitcher either. I'm going to go with Carlos Santana.
I'm like, thank God. Don't say what you're. I'm God. Like God, don't say the Motor City Madman, because I'm going to kill somebody. Literally thinking he's going to say Ted Nugent, and this is where Tim's going to lose his mind all over the show.
No. All right, you're number 4.
My number 4. I could have went with a couple of other people and different things. I could have done Axl Rose. I could have did Duff McKagan, but I didn't, on different lists. But my brother, again, one of these guys who told me, if you don't have this guy on your list, you're going to lose your ever loving mind, and you can forget coming back to the United States, because you will never have a stay here. But the guy who, to me, you watch, I think this is the guy. This is between Tommy Morello and my number 4 are the only 2 guys that are still playing. Heck, they're the only 2 out of the rest, except for my number 3 they're dead. So that this is what sends Brandon to look at his list, going, wait, how many people do I have on my list that are dead? But every time you hear, and you've actually got the band on one of you actually have the band on your list. It's the only time I didn't put this. I absolutely love the way he plays guitar. If I'm not mistaken, he showed up on the Oscars, if I'm not mistaken. But absolutely crazy work with what he does, what he did with Guns N' Roses. My number 4 is Slash.
God dang it. That's another name, too. I was just trying to think of, too. I'm like, I know I'm missing somebody. That's a good one. If I would have, I don't know why I couldn't find them. It did ring a bell. Yeah. My number 4 is the one I got the double up on. One, I just love both of their styles of music. One's a blues singer, one's an older guy. The funny thing is my wife, we were sitting here the other day, she goes, you got to hear this song. And I'm like, what song is it? And she's like, it's the song called My Dingaling. And
oh my God, you would. Oh.
So she didn't know I knew it, so she plays it on Alexis. I started singing along with it. You know this song? I was like, yeah, I know this song.
It's 70 years old.
Yeah. She heard it on her and her mom and Jackson were driving around, and they heard it, and Jackson was just cracking up. She's like, is he really talking about what I think he's talking about? I was like, yeah. Yeah. So my number 4 is Chuck Berry, and the other one is B.B. King.
Golly, B.B. King.
15%.
Whoa.
Yeah. All right, you're number 3.
My number 3. I have the drummer on another list. To me, I think I've actually said his name at one point today too. It has probably one of the greatest opening riffs in song history that cannot be played at any guitar center in the world. Which is the funny thing is, which is the statement by itself is funny, which was made popular by Wayne's World and Wayne's World 2 with the running joke. My number 3, matter of fact, I saw the guitar in which this song was first played on in Cleveland. Not the song wasn't first played in Cleveland, but the first time the song was played by this band and by this guitarist is actually in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. My number 3 is Robert Plant of Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, I remember that. That was a good one. Yeah. My number 3 is I gotta think of the group name. I kind of just lost it. God, I hate when that happens.
Red Hot Chili Peppers? No.
Yeah. That I'm so stupid. Because his band name is his name. And that's Eddie Van Halen. Oh my God, am I having just a moment today? God. Oh my God. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Oh my God, Brandon, wake up.
Oh yeah, this is awesome.
I need to go sit with Willie Nelson for a while to get my mind straight.
J-Mac's here for the greatest day ever.
Yeah, exactly.
At least you didn't leave Fred. At least you didn't leave.
No, the greatest day ever is still when I forget the best outfield of all time. You know. All right, you're number 2.
Well, this is where I said on my last list. I said the only guy that shows up on my list twice. Again, I'm starting to wonder if you have him on your list. This is starting to scare me. Again, the guy had to double check to see if he was actually in a group, which we all know he was, and for some reason I messed it up. And this is where my dad would tell me, "You're an idiot." My brother told me this too, and he's like, "You don't have this man on your list. Not only is Dad going to play zombie and come back and kick your ass, but I'm going to show up at your house too." My number 2 is the purveyor of Paisley Park, one Prince.
Yeah, when you said he was on your list twice, I'm like, well, there's only one guy that could possibly be. When you said Prince, I'm like, that's going to be his guitarist. But yes, Prince definitely number 2. That guy, I want that silver guitar that he had played in the Super Bowl in. That just looks so sweet. I think it was a 2-handle one too. I think.
I think so too. Was it silver?
I think it was silver with his logo on there, and I think it was 2-handled. I don't know.
I gotta take a look. I can't remember.
Yeah. So you're number 1.
Oh man, this is number 1. If you've got this one as your number 1, I am absolutely stoked. Most people, if unless you know me outside of here, you don't know my last name. Unless you know me outside here. Matter of fact, J-Mac was nice enough to put my last name in the comments. And constantly I get asked if I'm related to one Jimi Hendrix. And I said, yes, I am related to Jimi Hendrix, just not that one. It's not even spelled the same. Again, had to double check to make sure that he was part of a band. And I keep forgetting that he was part of the Squires and the Jimi Hendrix Experience. My number 1 is, of course, Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, the first name on my list, when I brought this up, I'm like, oh, you got to have Jimmy on there because, we probably, granted, somebody probably would have been the icon of guitar playing, but I think if you're one that, young enough and wants to be a good guitarist and get the notoriety, I think you follow what he does.
Oh yeah, And what he did, especially the national anthem at Woodstock, still to this day is considered must hear.
Yeah.
It's crazy what he's done, and again,
Yeah.
one of those guys that what happens if he's not part of the 27 club, and we got him into the 70s and the 80s. What type of stuff that we would have gotten from him?
Yeah, the collaborations that guy could have made, and and the thing is I know there's a tech company out there that's trying to come along and try to recreate these 3D images and have concerts and stuff with some of these older, so I don't know. We'll see. But we broke our 1 for 5, so now we're 2 for 4 or 2 for 5 on that one.
Ooh.
Yeah. So now we're going to move into our last category here of top songs you can't help to sing along with. And it's just one of those where, you don't have to know the whole song, but, the chorus is mainly what we all will sing here and there. So
we are going 0-4. If we go for more, if we go 1-4, I'm going to be absolutely shocked.
Oh, I think we're going to go 1 because you hinted earlier, and I think we're going to go 1.
Really?
But I have a feeling I got a song that you. Oh yeah, I got one for you that you're going to kick yourself for now.
God, and so nice that you got to go first. So
I think your brother, if he's watching and watch the replay, he's going to kick himself on this one. All right, so it's not at number 5.
Oh, good.
But number 5 is a song I know every time I hear it, I will sing the tagline every time, and I don't know why it is, but it's one of those ones. My number 5 is I Think We're Alone Now. I don't. And it honestly came up on when I was doing research. Top songs you want to sing along with, and that came in there. And I'm just like, yeah, that was one.
These are like my personal, so it's like I didn't even look them up. It was like they were top 5 right off my head.
Well, yeah, some of them. Some of them.
They just came up, and it was just so weird.
There's a few that I thought about it, and I'm looking at the list. I'm like, yeah, I probably would sing that more often, but yeah. All right, you're number 5.
My number 5, and the funny thing is, they made a meme out of this song. It is so weird. They made a meme because it came from it came from a movie, but then they ended up putting it in a video game, and for some reason I can't stop singing it. But I've been singing it for 30 plus years now, so it's not really that weird. They did it in a movie called The Kingsman, the Golden Circle, where Max Strong sings it, and he starts singing it, and I start singing right along with it, and the wife's going, "What are you doing?" I'm like, for some reason, every time I hear this song, I have to sing it. And then Fallout 76, when the Fallout 76 came in, and they started this place called Appalachia, and it was part of the commercial for that too. But every time it's on, I sing it, and it's forever stuck in my head. And the artist died again way too soon because he got into a plane accident. But every time I hear Country Roads by John Denver, I cannot stop singing it.
Yeah. You went movies, so I thought maybe I didn't get you on this one, but I think I did. But now that I think about it, you kind of hinted earlier that a different song would be on your list, so this might be it now that I think about it. But my number 4, I remember when I DJ'd that the night we closed the nightclub for the final time, the owner asked you, your brother, and a couple other people to reenact the scene from Wayne's World in the car.
I know. Here's the sad thing: is I did that at my sister's wedding too. I know exactly what song you're talking about.
Yes, and the thing is it was hilarious. I wish I was there when you guys did it all the time. But yeah, watching Wayne's World and hearing the song, you always sing the lyrics. And I'm going to butcher the name of the song too. but it's Bohemian. I can't even pronounce the name of the song.
Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I thought it was, but I'm just like, no, I'm second guessing myself because that's not how it's spelled. But Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah.
I have a Queen song on my list.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll admit I'm gonna kick myself for that one. I don't know.
I remember that the night we closed Night Moves, I think honestly that was one of the last two songs we played that night. I think it was.
Yeah, it was Bohemian Rhapsody and Night Moves.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah.
Yeah. So all right, you're number 4.
My number 4, the only country song on my list.
Okay.
The only country song on my list. Country Roads is kind of country, but
yeah.
But for some reason, this is one, and there are plenty of Garth Brooks songs that you hear that you automatically start singing to. But when this list came up, this was the kind of the second or third song that I thought of. So yeah, without it, and Justin Timberlake kind of screwed it up, but got lucky that Garth Brooks kind of came in and saved the day on this one. My number 4 is Garth Brooks' "Friends in Low Places."
Yeah, that is a good one you sing along to. Yep. Oh, that was. Yeah. Timberlake kind of. I know he was trying to pay homage.
I know what he was trying to do. Yeah. Failed, but he tried.
Yeah. And Timberlake doesn't fail at too many things. So
no.
All right, my number 3, again, a song. Our parents would probably sing to all the time, and I know I sing to it every once in a while, or most time I should say once in a while, but most of the time when I hear it, and that's from B-52's "Love Shack."
I thought the moment you said, and I went, "Oh, how low did he get my? How did he get my number 1?" But you didn't. So, oh, thank God! I've sang that, and the thing is, I've sang that for karaoke before.
Yep. All right, you're number 3.
So I mentioned earlier that I had a Queen song on my list. Well, this is the one. So I'll admit that I have a Queen song on the list, and there's only technically 3 songs that Queen has that you sing. And of course, we've just found out that I don't have Bohemian Rhapsody, so that means there's 2 logical songs. And the funny thing is, one song bleeds into the other. I could have easily doubled up here with "We Are the Champions," but I didn't. So I only went one and played. And I swear to God, you can get 75,000 people in a stadium could be so bloody bored. You start that with the whole stomping and the other stuff. People will sing their bloody life away for this song. My number 3 is "We Will Rock You" by Queen.
Yeah, that's a good one. My number 2, again, going a little older school, from ABBA, "Dancing Queen."
Dancing Queen. Yep, I saw it coming. As soon as you said ABBA, there's only one.
Yeah,
only one.
Exactly. Yeah, and you're number 2.
My number 2. This is the one I know you don't have on your list. I have this feeling. Okay. I'm going from the.
I only got one more song on my list, so
I know, and I'm going, and this is from the 70s, and it's, and there's a running. If anybody pays attention to reels on Facebook or TikTok, and they go to this, and this is probably a statement that's probably best saved for the bro code, but it's funny because the name of the band is Dexy's Midnight Riders. That's the name of the band.
Okay.
But they make a joke. I recommend you guys looking for it. It's hilarious. I'm not going to repeat the joke, but this is one of those songs that I will sing every time, without fail. My number 2 is "Come On Eileen" by the Dexy Midnight Riders. Without fail, it comes on and it's.
Yeah. No, I've heard that song too. Yeah, that's another one too. All right, my number 1.
Oh my God! If you hit my number 1, I'm going to throw up.
No, I don't think so, because I'm going to go into. Well, wasn't a movie, baseball movie, and and I think they do play it quite a bit at a lot of baseball games, especially in the Boston area, I would say. So
Oh my God, no, I
my
didn't.
number one is Sweet Caroline.
I don't have that one, but as soon as you said the Boston, I'm like, oh shoot, that's what I missed. I'm like, okay. I could have done 15, 20 songs on this one.
Oh yeah, we could have. We could have done quite a few. So, all right, you're number one.
My number one. If I were to save the Beach Boys,
Oh, there's a lot of them.
but there's to me there was always one, and the thing is, we always had this thing where my brother and I were younger, much younger than before we met you.
Yep.
We used to put on these little shows for my family when we went and visited them about a couple 100 miles away. And they always had Beach Boy stuff, and we always put on little shows. We'd lip sync, some of us sang it. But it was always one. Barbara Ann. Every single time. To this day, we can't shut up about it.
Yep. No, the Beach Boys are a good one. I was almost tempted to put on Barbie Girl. I was almost tempted to put on Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby. And Tim just left. All right. So with that being said, guys, today's Wednesday. So between Sportsman will be on. I don't know if we'll get press row this week. I know Callan's been dealing with some voice issues, and that's what he does for a living. So he's taking care of that. Creeping It Real on Thursday, Kicking It hopefully returns with the full cast. Entertainment Hour with James and Dragon Viper and Chris on deck coming up. May 4th, I believe, is the right date. We're doing there he is. Hold on. So you're back. That's okay. So,
I closed it. What I did was I closed the note my notebook page on my phone on my computer, and I double clicked and click and I'm shut it off. I'm like, okay,
that's okay. So May 4th, we're J Mac and the crew will be doing the backyard cornhole tournament up that way.
Don't. As much as we want to do that, but kind of separate those two words, backdoor and cornhole. Don't put them together.
Yeah, backyard.
Yeah, much better.
Yeah, there you go. J Mac will also be doing the voice of the Oregon Cougars football this year. Chris and Tim, April 25th. They will be doing their annual draft coverage of the first round, and
the Bacon Ooze Draft.
What's that?
The Bacon Ooze Draft.
The Bacon Ooze Draft. That's a good name. Was a prime bacon draft?
No, it's Bacon Show. I'm just
Bacon
there.
Prime.
Bacon Prime. Oh, that's even better. But we're not affiliated with that crap that they put on the mat at WrestleMania. Where don't ever get us confused.
Yeah.
Which is weird because we just finally got Prime here in Italy, and I've tried it, and it's expensive bullcrap.
So, with that being said, on deck Saturday mornings with Chris and James, of course, myself and Tim. C2C Rakem. Between the Ropes will be on Sunday. We'll recap WrestleMania, and we do plan on doing more commentary watch-alongs with the major pay-per-views. We'll see how that turns out. But with that being said, Tim, any final thoughts?
I'll never close windows again. But that happens. I like this. Again, my thoughts and prayers go out to my family members about my Uncle Dale. I want to thank everybody for in the chats who have also sent my family condolences. I absolutely greatly appreciate it. It makes you feel loved that you're part of this family, and I greatly appreciate that. Don't be afraid. We seem like we're people that have it all together, but we put on a good show. If you ever have problems, don't be afraid to get a hold of us. We will listen. We've all had problems. Some of us have hit some of the lowest stuff in our lives, and some of us I'm not including myself, but some of us may be still hitting hitting some low times. Don't be afraid to talk to us. Don't be afraid to reach out to us. Um, if anything we'll do, we may not give you the answers you're looking for, but we will do one thing: we will listen. Sometimes that's important for guys, is to have somebody that listens, that somebody, and the best words is somebody who gives a shit, because there are a lot of people out there that will not give a shit. We are those people that will give a shit. I know I've said shit 4 times now, but it's important. It's important for our sanity. And we know a thing or two, and don't be afraid to talk to us.
Yep. No, Tim's right. Just reach out. This past week was a little hard for me. Came up on 13 years that my grandma passed away, so kind of still, think about her and miss her, and yeah, it still hits home even 13 years after. It just hits quite hard. So, with that being said, again, check out our programming. Check us out. We always have some new content coming up, some show ideas. Throw them out there. We'll see if they can work. But with that being said, we'll see y'all next week on C2C Rankem. Have a good one.